Većinu njih zanima ko doista vlada, spominjete dakle, u knjizi o hrani, o sjeme uništenja, dakle, ljudima koji vladaju danas zalihama hrane. Dosta zastrašujuća ta knjiga, jer se nekako čini da se tiče više nas, običnih ljudi, možda nego ove druge vaše knjige o koje se bave velikim političkim odlukama i ratovima. Dakle, možda malo da pređemo na tu knjigu i na te zastrašujuće činjenice koje iznosite o stvarnim vladarima današnje hrane i zaliha hrane u svijetu.
It was a project that was set up in the 1950s, actually, in the United States at Harvard Business School. Wassily Leontief, the Nobel Prize economist, was a key player in this, financed by the Rockefeller Foundation. And the idea was to create a vertical integration of food based on the model of the Standard Oil Trust, the monopoly model that Rockefeller had built for oil. And he said, we have to learn how to control life. And the best way to do that is to control the food that people eat. And the mad dream that they had came out of a project called eugenics. Eugenics, of course, being the purity of the race that Nazi Germany practiced under Hitler. Well, what few people know is that the eugenics of the Third Reich was actually financed up to the outbreak of World War II by the Rockefeller Foundation. And they would come back from going to the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin or in Munich, and where these Nazi doctors were doing these forced sterilizations and all these eugenic experiments with twins and so. They come back and say, we're only talking about it, but in Germany, they're actually doing it. They're doing what we only, sit here idly talking about. So too bad that the Third Reich has such a bad image in the world, because that would be the model. Well, control of the food chain, I maintain in the book Seeds of Destruction, The Hidden Agenda of Genetic Manipulation, is about the attempt of these very, very powerful families to literally control life. And it's based on a flaw or a fraudulent notion of science, and that is that life can be reduced. It's called reductivism in terms of scientific philosophy. You can reduce the complexities of life to a tiny single gene. The Human Genome Project is one of their projects. And if you can find out the DNA, RNA, how that gene functions, and introduce a foreign matter to change the DNA of that gene, then you can theoretically create the master race, or you can destroy the inferior races, the black, yellow, whatever people you want to get rid of. And that indeed is the hidden agenda of genetic manipulation. Seeds that farmers are forced to buy because they're sold cheap by companies that sell them on the market that have these seed monopolies today. Companies such as Monsanto, DuPont, and Dow Chemicals, their GMO subsidiaries, or Syngenta in Switzerland. And through the control of seeds, they're now introducing self-destructing seeds that commit suicide after one harvest, so that you're in a kind of serfdom, a kind of bondage like you had in the Middle Ages, to the seed distributors, who are all of them, three of the four of them anyway, the most powerful ones, are all American, and they're all in cahoots with Pentagon chemical warfare research over decades. So this alone is a concentration of power that never in human history have we allowed. So their vision is to misuse this wrong notion of science, that you can reduce life to a gene and manipulate that gene and create, test tube human beings. It's really an Orwellian nightmare vision of the world. Fortunately for us, it's doomed to fail, and it has failed. GMO is not a stable science. It's based on something that's inherently unstable, because the gene is always mutating. So it's letting Pandora out of the box, and it's creating a Frankenstein monster. But it cannot control life. Life is far too robust for that, fortunately.